there was an item yesterday that caught some attention, specifically the attention of hashtag Tommy himself. Gary Myers, long-term reporter for the New York Daily News, tweeted this. Tom was worn out by Josh McDaniels after all these years. That surprised me. Worn out by the offensive coordinator, not the head coach. And Gary Myers cites an excellent source, not to be confused with the non-excellent sources. I'm always a little nervous about vouching for one specific source because it implies that all my other sources stink. But at least in this case, Gary Myers' source doesn't stink. His source is excellent, that Tom Brady and Josh McDaniels found that their relationship had deteriorated over the years. Now, there is one person, Chris, who would say that the source is not excellent, and that would be Tom Brady himself, who actually took an image of our story written by Michael David Smith, the managing editor at PFT, based upon Gary Myers' tweet, took a photo of that, and then did whatever it is that you can do on Instagram to write over top of it. Please stop this nonsense, Mr. Brady said. Please be more responsible with reporting. 19 years together and brothers for life. Heart emoji at Real Josh McDaniels. Chris, you work there. You've got connections there. You tell me, what's going on? I thought that the deterioration was with the relationship with Bill Belichick, not Josh McDaniels. I was surprised by the report from Gary Myers. So was Tom Brady. What say you?
Well, what I say is, one, I don't think these relationships are bad. And, I don't know if deteriorating is the right way to say it either. And again, you're right. I know people up there. I know a lot of people around the league that used to work there that still know the guys up there. So I do hear tidbits from New England from time to time from my friends around the league. And I think the big thing to me is I don't think there's like an issue here where they're like, oh, Josh, Tom's sitting there going, I'm never going to talk to Josh McDaniels again. And McDaniels is, oh, I'm sick of Brady. I don't want to deal with him anymore. No. But do I think the relationship was exhausted a little bit? Yeah, I do. I had heard inklings of that over the last 2 years up there in New England, whether it was Brady and Belichick or, not necessarily that I heard McDaniels and Brady or anything along those lines, but McDaniels and Belichick are very similar people as far as the way they approach the job on a daily basis. I mean, there's a reason McDaniels has been there that long and been that successful. And even when he left, Bill takes him back. I mean, he's a little bit of a mini Bill in a lot of ways. And from Tom's angle, and we've heard a lot of this. I mean, this is the reason I don't think Tom showed up to the last two OTAs in the last 2 years of OTAs to the New England Patriots. I think he's worn out by everything in New England. New England's brutal. It is brutal. And I think Tom Brady got to a point in his career where, hey, he's going, I got enough pelts on the horse, or I've done, got enough, badges on my coat or whatever it may be, to where he doesn't want to be micromanaged and looked after for every little thing he does in the world. And in New England, they just don't give a damn. They don't care if you're Tom Brady and you won 10 Super Bowls, or if you're, Jared Stidham and you haven't done crap yet. They really hold your feet to the fire on a daily basis. And I think that's where a lot of this talk comes from.
And, what you're saying makes sense for a couple of reasons. First of all, Bill Belichick isn't going to want anyone working for him who doesn't adapt and adhere to the Patriot Way, which means you are going to be a lot like Bill Belichick. You are going to be withholding affection, withholding praise, being leery about possibly inflating your players' heads by puffing them up with unnecessary attaboys and whatnot. So you have to be like Bill to survive. How many times have we seen guys leave New England and they're just like Belichick and it fails, including Josh McDaniels?
Sure.
I mean, all these guys leave, and even when they say they're going to do it their own way, like Matt Patricia did when he left for the Lions a couple of years ago, these guys don't realize how much their DNA has been altered by extended stretches with Bill Belichick. You think You're being your own guy, but the baseline perspective is always Bill Belichick. You're your own twist on Bill Belichick, but still at your core, you're Bill Belichick. So to the extent Tom Brady had a problem with the Patriots, had a problem with Belichick, had a problem with McDaniels, had a problem with the whole system, the whole way, And maybe
Right.
that's really the big takeaway here. If it's going to deteriorate with Belichick, it's going to deteriorate with McDaniels. It's going to deteriorate with everyone on the coaching staff that interacts with.
Agreed. And, that's where, first off, Gary Myers is not a guy that, just throws out splash BS, right? Nor is he in the business of trying to break stories all the time. So, one, for him to say these type of things makes me think that somebody's led him in that direction, right? But I don't think this is like, oh, Brady and McDaniels hate each other and they're never going to talk to each other again or anything like that. No, I think this was just professional tiredom or whatever. I'm making up the English language as I go here,
Ooh,
as you
yes,
know.
you are.
Yeah.
Yes.
but within that, to accentuate what you said, Mike, right? It does. The building is Bill. And you know that from the second you pull up in that parking lot in New England. And the second you walk through that door, now I know they've changed the facility a little bit, but when you walk through the door, you have to walk by Bears Najarian, who is Belichick's right-hand man. And that sets the tone right there because they're serious. And you might walk by Bill and he's going to be at work and ready to go and a curmudgeon. So the whole day, the attitude of the building is always set by Bill through and through. And yes, again, you can even talk to, when I heard about this and then I go, oh, hey, Tom had some issues that he wanted more say in the offensive game plan and things like that. Listen, they'll listen to Tom up there. But again, this is their ship. Bill is the commander. It doesn't matter. So Josh is going to go in there and he's going to build an offensive game plan for the week. But he's already conversated with Bill about how they want to attack that team and what they want to do, which best fits their own team going forward and all those things. So where, yeah, they're going to listen to Brady. But at the end of the day, Belichick and McDaniels go, we're here in this building for like 120 hours every week. We're going to be the ones that come up with the game plan and deem what's necessary to be in there and not be in there. And, I think probably Brady got sick and tired of that crap too, because he probably felt like he's earned or should have enough respect to add more input into the game plan on a weekly basis.
And I love issues like this that become transferable to other workplaces, other dynamics. I mean, McDaniels is the guy who's caught between his boss and his favorite employee. And at some point, there will be deterioration in the relationship with the employee if the guy in the middle is choosing to cater to the guy who's responsible for his pay, his career, the possibility that he someday will succeed Bill Belichick. Look, you got to take care of your own interests at some point. And in this relationship, you got to side with the boss. You can't side with the guy who reports to you because the boss is the one who's ultimately making all the big decisions. And you aspire to be there for an indefinite period of time. And again, maybe succeed the boss at some point. So this one's a no-brainer. Whatever affection Josh McDaniels may have for Tom Brady, that doesn't mean he's going to start doing things differently just because Tom Brady is getting worn out by the Patriot Way. No. Because the last thing that ship is going to tolerate is a mutiny. Because Bill Belichick will throw both of them overboard in a heartbeat, Chris.
No, you're exactly right. It's not going to work there. It's not. And it's the most detailed, well thought out place in the NFL. And, again, I say this a lot, but there's a reason they've dominated the league for the last 19 years. I mean, they have a process in which they believe in, and it starts in OTAs. And again, I think that's why there's, this perceived friction, or maybe things just didn't end up, with the better roses and everything like that, because I think Brady's the fact that he didn't show up in the last two OTAs. Hey, that's where New England, and even my experience working for Josh McDaniels in Denver in OTAs, it's where the team starts. It's where they start to go, okay, let's reevaluate our team. It's a new team this year. We have some new pieces here. How are we going to build going forward? And they take it kind of piece by piece, day by day, and they build it from there. And they're not going to variate from anything for anyone because I think, they believe in their system, and that's why it's worked. Also the other thing I always heard, Mike, up there too, is just that at times there was, a reluctance from Brady at times to want to add more into the offense, right? Just, hey, simplify it, protect me, get somebody open, and that's all there is to it. I've heard a lot of that kind of talk over the last 2 years. I don't know if that's true or not, but I think it all just goes back to the same thing, that the relationship just went on for a long, long time. They had a lot of great years. They're competitive. They work hard. And I think, it just fizzled out a little here, and they'll kind of reconnect when their careers are over and when Tom's career is over.
The beauty of your shotgun approach to the English language is every once in a while you'll twist
I
and
hit
warp
it,
a
right?
word into a word that actually is a word. Variate is a
I
word.
know.
I had to check. Tiredom is not. Although it may be. I can't tell you how many times you have spouted something out that sounds ridiculous, and then we go and look it up, and it's like, holy crap. It's actually a word. Also, we got to be careful apparently about using the word crap. One of our friends in the UK told me yesterday that and I haven't researched this yet, but for now,
crap means crap on any continent. All right, I don't know what they're trying to say.
Let's have a temporary moratorium on using the word crap until we can confirm that it isn't as bad as the S blank blank T word in the UK and in Ireland, because that could get us into some deep crap if we're not careful. So let's just press pause on that for now. All right. So look. I think we've kind of harmonized all this then. The bottom line is Tom Brady was sick of the Patriot Way. And I don't know that sick of may be too strong. Tom Brady had enough of it. He just had enough. He had reached his lifetime limit of dealing with. And you know what? One of the realities of getting older, and those of you out there who are fortunate enough to be old like me, you will realize as to certain people, as to certain things, as to certain foods, as to certain TV shows, as to certain anything, you will reach a point where you have decided, that's it. I've had enough. For my entire life, I'm good. I don't need to deal with this person anymore. I don't need to go to this restaurant anymore. I don't need to go to this place anymore. I don't need to watch this show anymore. I'm good. I have reached my lifetime limit. Best example for me, fireworks shows. I don't need to go to another fireworks show. I've seen them all. I know what it looks like. I know what it sounds like. It no longer does anything for me. I've seen it too many times, Chris. That's kind of what Tom Brady has reached with the Patriots. He has reached his lifetime limit of dealing with that system and that organization. You like that?
Listen, I do. I understand that. I was going to use peanut butter and jelly for my example because that, I went through. Mom packed me peanut butter and jelly every day for lunch for like 9 years in a row. And I got to high school and I was like, man, I can't look at peanut butter and jelly ever again the rest of my life. I've been eating it every day. And I had to take like a 6-year hiatus from it. Now it's back to being delicious again. So I do understand it. And again, with these alpha type males, as competitive as they are, as driven as they are, the stress you're under as an OC, a head coach, a quarterback, all those things. Hey, I think it's completely natural after this long of a relationship to have it fizzle out or just be worn out and want something new a little bit. And I think that's really all we're hearing here in New England.
Well, but hey, thank you, Tom Brady. Thank you, Josh McDaniels. Ultimately, thank you, Gary Myers, for giving us something to lead the show with, because it's a little more challenging this time of year than it is during actual football season.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.